I believe a leaf of grass is no less than the journey work of the stars. This sentence can help encapsulate some of Walt Whitman's thoughts and feelings that one can find in his work, Leaves of Grass. This 36-year-long endeavor was Whitman's main contribution to the world of poetry, America, and the world as a whole. Whitman is often referred to as America's poet because themes of America are woven throughout. One can find works on the tumultuous and trying times, including the Civil War and Reconstruction period, praise for America's beautiful vistas, and appreciation and sometimes concern for the boldness and brashness of the American citizen. Whitman's experimentalist approach to writing has inspired generations of writers, and we can thank his work for a lot of the works we have today. But before we delve any further into Leaves of Grass, let's look at the man himself, Walt Whitman. Whitman was born in 1819 in Brooklyn, New York, and lived a rather vagabond childhood due to the fact that his parents moved frequently because of jobs and money issues. This caused Whitman to have to quit his formal education at the age of 11, giving his writing a youthful and carefree appearance that a lot of writing did not have at this time. This has caused many people to say that his works are easier to read than other more formally educated poets. Whitman's experiences really impressed a sense of joyfulness and youthfulness in his writing. His experiences also shaped how he wrote. His first job was a printer's apprentice, where he learned valuable knowledge that he would use later in his writing. He worked as a school teacher, a newspaper publisher, and then finally as a poet. In 1855, he took 12 poems and decided to publish his very first work. He had been inspired by a talk by Ralph Waldo Emerson that said America needed an American poet that really expressed how America was feeling and in a unique point of view. While Whitman did not see himself as quote-unquote America's poet, he was inspired to try a new approach to writing. So he viewed his writing as a living, breathing thing. In 1855, he published 12 poems, and he was very hands-on in the publishing itself. He would often set typeset and rewrite poems on the spot to fit more aesthetically on the page. He believed that this work could be viewed as a manuscript, and in 5 years, so in 1860, this 12 poems had grown to 156 poems, with the revised version of Leaves of Grass. Whitman's opinions often got him in trouble because he was unapologetic in his views, and his oppression to slavery actually resulted him in getting fired from a newspaper. Because of his views on slavery, he ended up becoming a nurse in the Civil War, and one can find his views on slavery, Lincoln, and democracy in his work. Whitman believed above all else that love and companionship could fix all of life's ails. He frequently spoke that he wanted all men to walk together in brotherhood and companionship. One of his quotes are, "I do not ask the wounded person how he feels. I myself become the wounded person." This expresses Whitman's desire to be seen on an equal playing field to all mankind. He did not want to be seen as above the crowd. And in fact, he frequently spoke of himself by name in his poetry, calling himself out, reminding himself that he needed to be on an equal playing field with all mankind. He said, "I will plant compassion thick as trees along the rivers of America." And his desire was to express that through Leaves of Grass. Some of his unpopular opinions still raise eyebrows to this very day. He spoke very amorously and sensuously about women and men, this causing questions about his sexual preferences and his gender identity. Because Leaves of Grass was such a long process, we can see Whitman aging through his work. And in 1891, Whitman knew his health was failing, so he wrote his deathbed revision. So from 1855 and his 12 poems, he now had nearly 400 poems that would go in this last revision. He wanted the chance to express any thoughts or feelings that he felt he did not convey. He wanted to leave a lasting impression that would affect not only writers, but people who read his poetry. The last words in his last lines of poetry from Leaves of Grass say, "Maybe it is you, the mortal knob, really am doing. turning so now finally, goodbye and hail my fancy. We can see Whitman's work throughout American history. We can see Whitman's legacy throughout American writing. And because of Leaves of Grass and Walt Whitman's contributions to the world of poetry, America is forever shaped and forever changed because of his writing. Thank you.